a little bit more information coming out soon about what's going to be happening on the 5th of July. Network is the Motorcycle Action Group's monthly activist newsletter. I'm Colin Brown, and welcome to the MAG Network Readout. Hello everybody, and welcome to the March edition of Network. Now I get to start this month with a little bit of good news, actually a positive news story to tell you about, which feels a little bit unusual. Certainly it's a lot less usual than it should be, but yes, we do actually get to start with a good news story. Now this relates to Oxfordshire County Council and their road safety strategy. Those of you that have been with MAG for more than a few years will know that back in June of 2021 we launched what we call Welcoming Roads. Now this is actually a pretty high level philosophy, shall we say, which was designed to counteract what we see as the negative impacts of the current road safety thinking, which is all designed around this concept called Vision Zero. Vision Zero is obviously a way of looking at road safety, a philosophy or an approach to road safety, and is closely tied to the belief that we can achieve zero casualties on the road by a certain date. We wanted to confront the fact that Vision Zero very often leaves motorcycling forgotten about, if not actually lined up as being something that wants to be eliminated from the road network. So yes, motorcycling and Vision Zero are not something that go together very well. But in order to fight a philosophy of that nature, which is so widely understood and held within the road safety community, we had to come up with a better idea, and Welcoming Roads is that approach. Now, when it comes to Oxfordshire, we've also been on a bit of a journey with them. From back in 2020, I think early 2020, when they first issued their white papers and documents discussing a forthcoming local transport plan, they were exposing an anti-motorcycle bias, where they were saying that motorcyclists were a danger to themselves. Now this obviously kicked up a lot of fuss at the time. I got involved with Oxfordshire County Council, looking at their local transport plan and trying to convince them that this way of looking at motorcycling was not the best approach to take. And we actually managed to pull off a significant victory in that we persuaded them going to the point of actually including motorcycles as a discrete user group within their road user hierarchy. So this was a big success for us and we were very happy with it. But unfortunately what followed was them then producing a draft road safety strategy which totally reversed all the gains we made by actually removing motorcycles from a hierarchy within that document. So they produced a hierarchy for road safety where they decided who they would consider first and who they would consider last, and motorcyclists weren't even mentioned as a separate road user group within that hierarchy. We just had to assume that we would be lumped in with all other modes of traffic, which obviously were being considered last. Now we did not think that that was a reasonable position, so we were clearly not too happy about this draft proposal, especially following the success that we'd had with the actual local transport plan. So I've been using this example of the Oxfordshire approach, which is all based on Vision Zero, as a good example of why we're not too happy about Vision Zero and why we're proposing Welcoming Roads as an alternative approach. Now, obviously last year there was a general election. I got very involved in the campaign work around the general election, and what happened, which I missed, was actually in April of 2024 last year they released the final version of the Oxfordshire County Council's road safety strategy, and it actually contained a big win for us. Unfortunately a big win that I didn't notice until just a couple of weeks ago. So if you look now at the final published road safety strategy for Oxfordshire County Council, turn to page 16 and you will see that their hierarchy now does actually show motorcyclists as a discrete road user group that is included in this hierarchy. So this is wonderful news. But it gets even better than that. If you then scroll down to page 28, you see this following statement. Motorcyclists are vulnerable road users, and we will work with our motorcycle stakeholder, the Motorcycle Action Group, to ensure that the latest safety information for motorcyclists can be shared. we will also work with them in aligning with their Welcoming Roads approach to road safety. So there we have it in black and white. Proof that MAG was there. It doesn't come much clearer than that. It's good to see something as clear and unequivocal in the final document. Albeit it's a little bit disappointing they didn't tell me or specifically point out to me that they'd published this, because I'd totally missed it until just a couple of weeks ago. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still an awful lot of work to do. If they fully understood the Welcoming Roads approach, they wouldn't be couching it within a Vision Zero document. But, we've got work to do, and that work will be ongoing. But yes, I think it's important to point out that that was a significant win for MAG and for motorcyclists in Oxfordshire. So moving on, the Integrated National Transport Strategy, that consultation has now closed, but we're not just going to sit back with bated breath waiting for the government to deflate us. I am now confirmed to attend one of the Have Your Say regional road shows, which will be attending in March in Milton Keynes. And hopefully I'll be able to use that opportunity to further push the message that we were trying to put forward in our consultation response. And incidentally, if you want to read our full consultation response, I'll be leaving a link for it in the description below. Again, the Scottish 50 mile an hour speed limits consultation, that is rapidly coming to a close. It closes on the 5th of March, but you've still got a few days left to respond to that if you're watching this video in time. We'll leave a link for that consultation in the description for this video. So there were a few opportunities that I said were coming up in February, so I shall just give you a very brief report on each of those. First of all, my attendance at the Road Safety GB Motorcycle Road Safety event, where I got to speak from stage about the work that we've done with the University of Nottingham. And I used that platform to actually openly state to the assembled audience that Vision Zero is not compatible with an inclusive transport system. Standing on stage in front of a room full of road safety professionals, all of whom who are significantly bought into the Vision Zero approach, standing up and saying that, yeah, your approach is wrong, it's not something for the faint-hearted. But I did actually challenge the room and said, if anybody can explain to me why I'm wrong in terms of my position that Vision Zero does ultimately have an instinct to exclude motorcycling rather than include motorcycling, please do come up and explain to me where I'm going wrong. And to be fair, it has to be said that there wasn't a single person that came to challenge me. So what I can read into that, I'm not too sure, but it was quite interesting all the same. I also attended the MCIA's conference down in Euston Square, 30 Euston Square. It didn't really teach us anything new, so there were no big headline announcements or things revealed. And to give you a flavour, the question that I asked at the conference of the assembled panel, why is it that we only ever get a video presentation from the sitting government whilst the opposition bothered to send somebody in to be there in person? So obviously back last year, 2024, the conference, we had a video presentation from the then Conservative government and the Labour MPs were in the room. But fast forward another 12 months and we've now got a Labour government and we had a video presentation from the Labour government and the Conservative opposition MPs were in the room. So once again, what does this tell us about the government's view on motorcycling? And, how political priorities change when suddenly you're in government and strangely no longer want to speak to us. So yes, I don't think we learned anything new. I'm going to be doing a few more articles and possibly a few videos about the things that happened at that event, but nothing dramatically surprising, I would say. I attended the Transport Scotland Motorcycle Focus Group meeting. I was a little surprised to see that they didn't discuss the 50 mile an hour speed limit consultation, so that wasn't a topic of conversation. But there were a couple of things. There's a forthcoming road safety messaging campaign, which they've got. They gave us a bit of a preview for. I thought it was actually very well designed and thoughtful, and I'm quite positive about that. So that's some good news coming out of there. But strangely, although they said at the previous meeting of this group that they would monitor the DFT's consultation on bus lane access, They sat and told us in this meeting this week just gone that there hadn't been an outcome. I obviously put them right on that and explained to them that this now put Scotland in the very helpful position of being able to lead the way by showing the Westminster government how to go about giving a default policy for motorcycle access in bus lanes in Scotland. So hopefully I'll get further meetings with Transport Scotland to discuss that, but we're certainly not giving up on the bus lanes thing. Possibly even more concerning, though, was, again, at the previous meeting, I'd specifically asked for them to look at revising the Scottish Transport Strategy Guidance, which includes a hierarchy of road user types, as we discussed here earlier in Oxfordshire, but that hierarchy fails to mention the word motorcycle. So I asked them whether or not they could actually include motorcycles into their hierarchy. And we got a response at the meeting at this latest meeting, and it was rather disappointing and dismissive, because they basically said that due to the minimal emissions from motorcycles, it wasn't worth considering them as a separate transport mode. This entirely misses the point of what I was trying to say, and needless to say, I let them know that I was not overly impressed with that outcome. And I did push for further meetings to discuss this, to explain what it was that we were really pushing for, and it looks like those meetings will take place. So hopefully we'll be able to persuade them of the error of their ways in due course. This meeting actually took place the day before the Scottish Government launched a new consultation, which is called the Just Transition Plan for Transport in Scotland. Now, this is obviously looking at decarbonisation and how they decarbonise the transport network in Scotland. Given that it was only launched a day before I'm recording this video, I've not had the chance to go through fully the full details, but a very quick glance shows that, yes, they're not thinking about motorcycles. They obviously mention active travel and public transport, but no mention of the role that motorcycles can play in increasing the sustainability, shall we say, of the transport system in Scotland. So the fact that we've got potentially meetings accepted and being lined up with Transport Scotland, I think does put us on the front foot. But again, this is another consultation that we need to respond to, and we need to take some notice for and hopefully get some progress in motorcycling there. So upcoming opportunities in the month ahead. Literally this morning I had there was a meeting of the National Young Riders Forum. I'll report on that next month. Tomorrow I'll be giving some feedback to Transport for London on their next motorcycle road safety messaging campaign. On the 3rd of March I'm going to be in Birmingham meeting the new West Midlands Road Safety Commissioner. Things that I will be asking him, for example, are how can Birmingham declare a road safety emergency whilst West Midlands Police is withdrawing from delivering bike safe in the region? So yeah, there's some contradictions going on there in terms of the actions that's taking place. It'll be interesting to see what this new road safety commissioner appointed by the new Labour mayor in the West Midlands, to see what he's got to say. On the 4th of March I'm going to be attending a meeting of Two Wheels London, and as I mentioned earlier, on the 11th of March I shall be attending the Integrated Transport Strategy Workshop in Milton Keynes. So the diary is filling up, and there's other opportunities that I'm hoping will come to fruition, so March is going to be as busy as ever and plenty to report back to you on. Now, I keep on mentioning that we've got big announcements coming up. My frustration with the Petitions Committee of the House of Commons is growing. As you have probably figured out, I've submitted a petition to the House of Commons Petitions Committee. The petition will be calling for a reversal of the motorcycles in bus lanes outcome. The frustrating thing is I submitted this on the 6th of January to the committee, and they said it would take up to a month to check it and get it published. And yet here we are, it's now the 25th of February and I'm still sitting here waiting for it. So this is going to be a significant campaign. There's lots of strands to it. The petition is the sort of like the central part of it, but that's not all there is to this campaign. But unfortunately, launching this campaign is being held up by a petitions committee that is taking its time. So as soon as it's ready, that will be launched. Keep your eyes open for the news coming through on that. And then the second thing I would ask you to do is keep Saturday the 5th of July free in your diary. Be sure to have your bike serviced, MOT'd and insured and ready to hit the road. Beyond that, I'm saying nothing yet. Okay, I shall leave it there for now. I look forward to this coming month and hopefully news and actual initiatives getting off the ground, as opposed to me having to come back to you again in another month and say, yeah, we're still waiting for the petitions committee. And hopefully a little bit more information coming out soon about what's going to be happening on the 5th of July. See you soon.